Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am Dr. Kerri Nevin, and welcome to another edition of the Let's Talk series. I'm a doctor of clinical psychology and a wellness coach certified by the Mayo Clinic, and it is my passion to celebrate those special people who also are supporters of mental well-being. And today we have the fabulous Stacy Goldman. Hi, Stacy.
Hi.
For having her here. Thank you. Thank you. Stacy is the creator of Cardio Funk Dance Fitness here in Deerfield, Illinois. Some of you may not know this, but dancing is actually a passion of mine. And when I found out that you were teaching this class, I just had to check it out. And I have to say, it's really been one of the best decisions that I've made for myself. And just, I so appreciate you. So I'm super excited to talk with you today and celebrate you. Stacy, you've been teaching for the past 10 years at Bizar Entertainment in Deerfield. That's incredible. You have built quite the following. You have 7 classes and up to 20 women in each of these classes. Is that right?
That's right. It's been a process, but yes, that's what I have now.
That is incredible. And the space that you teach in, I just have to describe to people, it's really special. It has a total concert vibe. There's a disco ball in the ceiling, and then there's concert lighting, and it's dim. So you really kind of do feel like you're at a club, right?
That's the idea. Exactly.
That's the idea. And then Stacy blasts this music, and it's just awesome music that is so like inspiring and just really makes you want to move. So I'm just so happy to have you here today to celebrate you and to talk a little bit more about what you do. So with that said, I'm just going to jump right in. Some questions. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good.
Awesome. So Stacy, can you share a little bit about your dance background and how Cardio Funk Dance Fitness actually came into being?
Sure. Okay. So I would say dance was brought into my life when I was a little girl. You know, my mom put me in dance classes when I was 3. And, of all the things I tried, of course, I was in some sports. That was a big fail. I did gymnastics, arts and crafts, everything but dance. My mom tried to get me to play piano. Nothing stuck except dance. I would always be so excited to go to my dance lessons. So everything else got weeded out, and I just kept dancing. And then, through high school, I was very involved with, captain of drums and president of the orchestra team. My dance was like my life in high school. Then I went to college, and although I didn't choose to major in it, I chose to major in education. I did elementary education. I still got to be, I was on the Illinois dance team at University of Illinois, which meant we did like the halftime shows at the football games and the basketball games. So that was a really fun experience. I got to do that for a few years. And then I graduated, and it's like everything just stopped, went cold. I don't think I danced for like 15 years, sad to say.
Yeah, I didn't know that you took a break for that length of time.
I meant to. It was just like that time of year where I got busy. I was a teacher then. I was pursuing, my career. I got married. I had 3 kids. And I didn't realize how much I missed it because I was just busy with such a busy time of life. So yeah, I didn't dance for like 15 years. And then I think it was when I was like 35, I'm thinking, a friend of mine said, you have to come with me to this hip hop class. It wasn't a fitness class. It was like a hip hop dance class. So I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. Do hip hop. I don't know if I could do that. And I went with her, and this teacher was awesome, amazing guy. And he basically it just like reignited the dance passion in me from that day on. I would go to it every week. I did it for like 5 years. We even had like mom recitals at the end where like,
You did?
Mom, I loved it. I was like reliving my youth, like a part that I was so missing and did not realize how much I missed it. Yeah, so they get a kick out of coming to watch me dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was around that time that a friend of mine said, hey, will you come get Zumba certified with me? Zumba is like a Latin dance class, fitness class. And I took Zumba classes at the YMCA. Those would be the classes I liked because, of course, it's the dance classes that would interest me. I never had any desire to go on the treadmill, the elliptical.
Ah, right. Totally.
I needed like something to pay attention to and great music. So I was like, okay, I'll go with you. And it was an easy, nothing, 1-day certification. Didn't really think I was going to do anything with it. And then the YMCA asked me like, hey, we needed an instructor. Could you have a class ready in like 2 weeks? And I remember it was like over Christmas break. And I was like, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do it, but I pulled it together and I taught. And then I taught there and in like another health club. And I was teaching Zumba, which means it's their choreography and music, and it's Latin, very Latin based. And you pay like a monthly thing to have the name Zumba. And I was finding that like I love the Latin stuff, but I wanted to just do my own choreography, and I wanted to do all genres. Like I wanted hip hop and jazz and Bollywood and just everything. I didn't want to do this. So I asked the director at the Y, hey, do you care if I change the name to something else? And she's like, yeah, I don't care. So like on the spot, I was like, oh, okay, we'll call it cardio funk. I mean, when I tell you, I just like 2 seconds spit off my tongue. And so then that's where cardio funk began. And I did that for like a year or two at like a couple local health clubs. And then I started teaching little kid dance at this like children's place called Starland, which is just like an enrichment.
I remember Starland.
Yeah. It was great. So I was a teacher, which was, my background was teaching and my passion was dance. So it was really fun to combine that. And I taught little kids hip hop, ballet, jazz, everything. And at the same time I was doing that, they had all these open spaces. And so the owner at Starland said to me, hey, if you are here and there's an open space, you can teach that class that you teach at the health clubs here if you want. So I started doing it there, and it would be great because the moms would like drop off their kids for a dance class and come take my class. And I mean, I had like 2 people the first time I did it. And then I was able to be like, wow, this is full. I added a second class, added a third class, and it was so fun. Well, eventually Starland closed, and I'm like, okay, this is the end. This is the end of it, whatever. But then I found the space where I teach at now, Bizar Entertainment. And I actually knew the guy from high school. We met like freshman year, of college. And I walked in there, I'm like, okay, this is actually my vibe. Like, because the other places I had lights on and, and I loved it. So I started teaching my classes there. And it went from like 1-2 classes to, it's just built every year to 7. Although I will say when COVID hit, I thought that was the end of it for the second time. Yeah. I'm like, oh God, it's been a good run. This is not good. And I'm so not techie, but within 1 day after the classes got canceled, which I think was like March 14th or something, I figured out how to do it in my basement. And I had like 50, 60 people Zooming, and I was teaching in my little basement. And at the time, people were so grateful to have normalcy in their life. Like this is what they did. And oh my God, I didn't like realize what an impact it was having on everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I did it like that for a year and a half during COVID. I'm not going to say I liked it because I love the feeling of everybody there in the room and all that. But it was really just important for everyone's mental health. And I did do some outside classes when I could. But then after a year and a half, I got to resume back inside. And it's been great ever since then. So that's kind of the story.
Wow. And so interesting to me is that there's so many elements to this. It's certainly body, right?
Yeah.
In your body, but it's so mind oriented and emotion oriented and right. And so it's, for me, it like uplifts me. I think the last time I was in your class, I said, I just feel so joyful. I just feel like I got my daily dose of, that people take the happy pills or whatever it is. And it's like your dance class is sort of like my happy pill.
That's exactly what I love to hear. And it's so true because dance is that. I mean, yes, it's exercise. And yes, you're going to sweat in my class and it's fabulous toning. But I mean, more than any of that it's just a release. And it's like you said, it's serotonin burst. And if you come in not in a good mood or distracted or something, like I can guarantee you're going to leave an hour later feeling better and recharged. And because that's what one of my favorite phrases is motion equals emotion. And it's just so true. Like if, if you're moving to music and your body's moving and it's going to affect your mind. It can't not. It just like goes together. And that's what I want people to get out of my class. Exactly.
Well, and that's, you have to have it. It's for sure the music, but you also have to be a person with that personality that invites people and says, listen, I'm going on for a joyride. Like, jump on the train because this is where we're going. We're going to have a great time. And what I love about you is that you're so engaging. The music is just spectacular. Like, where do you find your music from? That was one of the questions that I
find it.
Yeah, like where do you get your music?
Oh my gosh, I've always loved music. I always was the one making all the, mixed cassette tapes for my friends. I just love music. I don't just anywhere. A lot of times, if I see a dance to a song, like my neighbors are dancers, and throughout all the years of dancing, all their dance shows, I would be like, ooh, I like that song. And some of the music is just the stuff you heard on the radio, and it's just really like out there stuff that you wouldn't hear of. But yeah, I just find it at all random places.
Man. And it's because you feel it. You feel a connection to it. And so the funny thing is about Stacy, I actually did some dancing at Denise Saballo's dance studio. And so we had an instructor and I would film the routine so that I could take it home and practice. And so I think I remember saying, hey, can I film this? You're like, no, don't do that. So what's so interesting, and actually it provided an opportunity for me. And I'll tell you why. Because what I have noticed is that when I'm not in a great place, say emotionally, if I am choosing to do something that draws 100% of my attention to it, I am fully present in that space. And so what I find is that if I've not been feeling emotionally great, that negative emotion slows because my full attention is put on what's in front of me. And so I don't know these routines. Like some of your girls have been there for like 10 years and 7 years. And I got in there the first time and I was like, what have I got?
I just like jumped right in. No thing. Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But what I loved about it was that it did require that. And because I love to dance and I love to move. And my motto is, if you're moving in your body, you're moving in your life. You know, and that's something I say to myself before I start because I want to be moving forward in my life. And so I'm finding that with that focus, I can the negative stuff slows down and I come more into an open space and like ideas come to me and right to solve whatever it is that's got me, twisted up. And it's like that's why I was like, I don't know if you know this, Stacy, but you're kind of like my head coach.
You're the first person who's told me that. People will say that like while they're in there, ideas come to them for their job, their career, and like creatively, whether it's someone who, writes a book or I have like someone who's a chef. She teaches cooking classes or like they're like ideas come to me during your class. It's like choreography comes to me when I'm walking my dogs or in the shower, like random places. And for some reason, like you said, it brings out creativity in people because what you said is true. Like you walk in there and you have to be present. That's one of the things about a follow along dance class. Like your mind can't really be like wandering about your to-do list or something on your mind because if you're not there present, like you're forced to really like watch me. And, it's mental as much as it is physical. So, well, I am not good at meditation. Like I've tried it. I totally understand the importance of it. For me, my class is meditative because you truly are focused and in your head on one thing that everything else kind of goes away. So that's a form of meditation, I think. Like, right? Like you...
Yes. 10,000%. It's a moving meditation. I mean, I know a gal who is like, I can't sit and meditate, but when I get on my bike and I'm just on the bike, then I'm like, I get into this zone. And that's when we're all, plugged in and the biochemistry is working in our favor. And And so, and you mentioned the shower. I get ideas in the shower because you're doing repetitive movements. Like, you've been there before, you've done all this before, and it's like you can kind of zone out a little bit because you're doing these repetitive movements, right?
Yeah, right. And I do think also, like, even though my class is not necessarily repetitive movements, I mean, yes, I have dances you're going to do over and over and stuff. But I do think that like it's just forgot where I was going with that.
Well, I think just having the focus
Yeah.
allows you to be in a state of receptivity.
Yeah.
And so that's why those ideas can flow. It's sort of like you're getting out of your own way.
Sure. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I never like really understood that before, like, especially with the meditation piece, the coaching in past, what I've read is try to stop thinking. It's like, you're not going to be able to stop thinking, but if you focus on something else, your thinking will slow down. Right.
Exactly. I give you something else to focus on. And that should help everything else ease.
Absolutely. Come into balance, right? It's all about balance. So,
right.
So you've got many roles in your life, your wife, your mom, your instructor. Like, how do you personally balance everything? Because you interact with like a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people now. I know. Well, as far as like being a mom and busy and all that, I really think that the dance helps me balance everything in home life because, again, it's my release, it's my exercise, it's my meditation. So it definitely helps me do that. I feel like, now I'm an empty nester this year. So for the first time, like, I don't have any kids at home and I kind of sad. I don't have any like events to go see at the high school, nothing. So it gives me even more time for dance. More time for dance. I mean, which is great. If I didn't have this, I think I would be really like sad and lonely. But I, like you said, like I try, there's a lot of people that take my class now and I try really hard to make connections with people. Sometimes it's hard. If it's your first session in there, I may not know you till second session a little bit, but I'm always trying. Like I want to learn everybody's names and say hi with a smile and they walk in and, just do my best. I mean, I have met some amazing, amazing ladies through this. That is just one of the best things about this whole cardio funk run is just, and I love when I see people who didn't know each other who are in class talking about things and they become friends and they would have never known each other ever if they didn't come together through this like love of just dance in my class. So I love seeing that with other people and it's just like-minded people. People just want to like take care of themselves and celebrate life. And I do think, I mean, especially since after I came back after COVID, the influx of people I had was huge. That's when I went up like 2 more classes a week. I think everybody is just realizes like, I want to celebrate life. And, now I'm finally allowed to go out and live. And I want to do something that gets me out of my comfort zone, which a lot of people this is. And I want something that's good for me and something that I can be accountable, which is one more thing I made with my class. It didn't used to be this way, but like you signed up for a specific class time. It's not just a drop-in class and you're committed for like 10 weeks, whatever the session is. And if you aren't going to come, you just have to let me know. But just that little thing of like, I have to let the teacher know I'm not going to be there. It's good. You're like accountable kind of to show up, which for a lot of people, they say, I need that. If I was just going to go to the health club myself and get on the elliptical, I could very easily blow that off. But like, I know Stacy's expecting me and I have to be there Tuesday at 9:30, So yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and that accountability is something, and I think what it does is it helps you connect with being purposeful because you're showing up on purpose. And when you have that energy that you bring in that way, and you are surrounded by people who are doing the same thing, I don't know, it just feels to me like a really high vibe place. And I am one of those people who's met actually several people, and one gal in particular who I just have so much fun with now. And so you provided that opportunity for me. and just another place to be so much more joyful. And I guess I didn't realize how much I needed that. Like I thought I was having that in just various parts of my life. But when I came to your class, I realized it was like the volume got turned up on the joy in my life, which is like, it's so good. It's so good. And it makes me so happy.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so thrilled. And that, it's so clear that, I was just talking with a patient who was like, oh, I got to get motivated. I'm like, that just sounds awful. Let's not do that. Let's get inspired. And, you are already there. You're already inspired. Like, I think about your mind and I think about how does she do choreography? Like, how does she do this choreography? You have to have a specific kind of mind to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been doing talent. Yeah. Like I definitely been doing that since I was a kid. So
little. So, and so it's other instructors I'll hear, they say, well, I'll be in my car and I'll be like thinking about things in my head. And or as I'm going to sleep at night, I'll go through a routine or whatever it is. But that's a real gift and a real talent. And again, it's such a wonderful thing that you provide this space. And it's so important. And I think especially following the pandemic, like you said, I think people were so hungry for connection that, when you're in a group and you're all doing the same thing and you're focused on one thing, there is a vibe to that. And it just lifts them up.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. Just that vibe of being around people and then the loud music and smiling faces. It's the best. Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone was thinking of like taking your class who had never taken dance before, what would you say to them? What would you want them to know?
So I would say, and I always say, dance experience is not required. It's not necessary. You're going to have the people in the class that were like me or like you, like love to dance. We haven't done it since we were teenagers or whatever, but it for them, it like reignites like, oh my God, I miss dancing. I love it. But for a lot of other people, I've got people that say, I have never liked or done any exercise in my life until this. Like, this is all that they do because, it is exercise, but it doesn't always feel like it because it's just so fun. It's fun and it's concentration. But plenty of those people are the ones who were petrified. They came into my class, they stand in the back, which is totally fine. And what I say to everybody is, first of all, there's a reason why I like the room dark, right? Like,
yes,
watching you,
no judgment,
watching me or themselves. So don't worry, there is zero judgment. There is, just no inhibitions. Like, this is just for you to get out of your mind and feel sexy. And I definitely try and promote that. I definitely, do a lot.
Yes, you do. It's awesome. It's awesome.
It's good. It's so good for, us like women to do. And I also have an age range of people in there. From this session, I had 22 through 65 years old. I mean, it's a big age range. Some people are dancers. Some people, they don't care if they get 50% of the choreography. They're so happy to be there and moving, and they love the music and the vibe. And I'm like, hey, any movement you're doing, you don't have to be following my choreography exactly. Obviously, do whatever you want. There's zero judgment, but like, you're getting benefit out of that. You are moving, so you're burning calories, and your mind is the serotonin is flowing. So there's definitely all levels of people. I just tell people, try something new, go out of your comfort zone, and hey, this is a perfect thing to try, and it's fun. So
it's fun and it's connection and it's wonderful. So if someone, Stacy, wanted to connect with you, what would be the best way to reach out to you?
I would say either through my email, which is cardiofunk3@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or I have a Facebook page. I'm not fantastic with, I'm not a big social media girl. I have to say I'm pretty bad at that. I know I'm supposed to. I really don't, but like, I do have a Facebook. It's facebook.com/cardiofunk.
Okay.
Me there. You can see.
That's where I think, what's funny is I found you back in like May. And I think I like shot you an email like, oh, tell me a little bit about this, or like, what's going on with this? And then several months went by, and then I was on Facebook and I saw you again. And I was like, just gonna do this. Oh, very first class, I was like, oh my God, I have found my people.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to have you. I'm so happy that you did find me. Yeah.
I do feel like I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in synchronicities. And, when everything sort of aligns, you have that feeling of alignment and like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. That is exactly how I feel with you in your class. So I want to thank you, Stacy Goldman, for doing what you do and for being the person that you are. What you do is amazing, but who you are, boy, that's the whole package.
I really appreciate that. I feel so lucky and so blessed. My major, my career was education, teaching. I did elementary education. My passion was always dance. And, my mom will say like, wow, like you found a way to make the passion. I mean, I'm still teaching. So I've always been, I guess, a teacher of some sort. But this adult teaching is my favorite by far of any teaching I've done. I just love it. And again, love connecting with all the amazing women that take my class, and just happy to, some people call me their therapist, which obviously I am not a therapist. And I'm like, wow, thank you for that title. But it is true. Like over all these years, I've had many, many women, and when they're going through stuff, lots of deaths in the family, aging parents, a lot of different forms of cancer, like they will confide in me and they will say like, your class is getting me through this. Like I come here and I am for 1 hour distracted from my life right now. And I just feel so like honored and lucky that I could do that for them. You want to do anything for someone when they're going through a hard time. And I'm like, thank God that I can do this for them. It makes me feel so good, and knowing that it's helping them get through a hard time. So
it is. And it's just such a blessing and all the way around. So thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you.